Hi everyone, it's another day. Thursday the 11th, I think. Lost track of time now, but I don't care. Got plenty ahead of me. Decided today to weld up those two feature gates, or feature walls, for the deck. So I've just completed the smaller one. So, again, I just opted for the two-side weld approach. Leave that open, just in case water gets in, it can get out. So that one's all right. I'll put it up against the gate, and it seems to go in quite nice. This one, I've tacked all the corners and only tacked this long piece of right angle in on the end so far. Still have all the rest of it to do. I've got to join that piece of right angle together, and then we shall be completed. Now the way this gets fastened down to the deck is holes will get drilled in the bottom, and they'll get through, holes will get drilled through the deck and into the steel frame, and then it will get bolted on pretty much like these stainless steel poles. When the wall frame's up against here, it will get bolted in through the sides, and that will really make this post rigid, so I shouldn't get any flexing. And well, as I said, this one just fastens to the gate, so it's not much to do there. This is the bracket I've got to remove. It's just going through a paling. My cross brace is down here, so yeah, I'm going to keep moving, guys. It's going to get awfully cold later on, and I think for the first time in about 12 months I'm actually going to, no, it wouldn't be 12 months, it was last November, so we're looking at 8 months. It's been 8 months since I've been to my Hot Rod Club meetings, so I'm going to go tonight. I haven't seen the boys for a while, and I need to get out of the house. I've been stuck here for the last 4 weeks, so I'm going to go and have some pig on a spit. Okay, I've finished up both gates. So, or both feature walls I should say, not gates. We did the gate last week, so that's the one that'll sit on top of the deck. So I worked out okay with that right angle. Ran out of silver gal, although I have some in a can that I can put on with a brush. But just not today. And there's the small one that's going to get bolted to the gate. It's nice and light, so yeah, it shouldn't put too much stress on the fence. It's another day. Didn't get a chance to do much work on the deck today, and it's getting late in the afternoon now. It's about 4:30, but I've decided to just put the feature walls in place with some clamps just to get a bit of an idea of what it looks like, and I think it's going to come up really nice once all the cladding's on it. So the idea is to screw in through here and into the main post and do that in a couple of spots obviously, and then drill down through here, through the deck board, through the frame, and bolt that in place. And then this one here for the gate, drill a hole straight through the tubes and put a bolt through the gate bar and bolt them on. Only need one right down the bottom and probably one just up the top here. And that's it. I've got these pulled together tight at the moment, but there will be a slight gap between them. As you can see, I've had to put a wedge in there just to hold everything in place for now, but yeah, should look alright. And that frame is square, so hopefully the camera will pick it up, but you can see how much of a lean's on the fence compared to the feature wall frame, because the deck's level and the fence runs downhill till it reaches this post, and then this was a second part of the fence that we built, and we built this from scratch, from all new materials, and it's level. But this was recycled fencing, which came from my father's place. So however the carpenters or fencers built the fence at his place is basically what I transplanted into the ground here. So yeah, it had a lean on it, and there's not much I could do about it. But you'll start to get a better idea of levels and things here. As I said, nothing on this block is square. Fences are unlevel. You know, concrete slopes. But that deck is level and that feature wall is level. So yeah, I'm liking it. I'm thinking it's becoming more of a, although it's a deck with that wall up, I think it's going to become more of like an alcove or a I can't say fully enclosed room, but to a point it's going to feel more closed in, and you know, you're not going to get a breeze coming down that sideway of the house, as most sideways tend to you know, produce a breeze. And the wind's always looking for the path of less resistance, so if it can find a way down the side of the building, it will come down the sideway. But I'm liking that. That's going to block out my neighbour's, most of my neighbour's roof and veranda, which is going to be good, because just is. I don't need to tell you why. So we're getting there. Okay, I'm going to attempt to cut this down. Obviously, as we know, it's too big. So rough estimate is my gate frame is 25. And by measuring up the Colorbond sheeting on my sheds and my garage, they roughly come in at about 10 mil in depth with the corrugations and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is allow 40 mil. So I'm going to reduce this down in size. It's 90, so I'm reducing it to 40. So I found my center line. So I'm just going to cut this down the center line to start with. This is a little bit, because of the weld, it's not spot on, so if I line that up with that center hole, I should be pretty much on the money. And I hate doing these angled ones. And then they don't quite turn out right, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut that. I think. Okay, what I did is I changed my strategy on this. If I had just cut this down the seam, I would have ended up with a pretty much a square corner, and I didn't want that. I want to try and keep it the same as this. So what I've done is I've just come out from the edge 10 mil. That 10 mil is where the radius on the corner starts to flatten out, and then all I've done is taken an extra 10mm off this, so I've reduced this to 30mm here, and the 10mm is there, which will make 40mm. Okay, I've made me cuts, so that's the side I want to keep. Just got to clean it up on the linisher a little bit, and I can get it out. There we go, that's the other piece I want to keep. So hopefully they should come together okay. I do have to clean this one up. I did. You saw me mark it with the square. I did mark it with the square. I did pretty much follow the line. I can still see the felt marker line on there, but just where I met, right on the corner, it sort of deviated a little bit, and I think maybe the weld sort of pushed the blade across a little bit, but I'll be quite happy with that. I think that's a lot better. I'm going to attempt to weld it up now and see how it turns out. Okay, we got this welded. So had a little bit of spillage sort of into that groove, but that's nothing. And I just noticed here I've missed it a little bit, so might just grind that back and finish it off. But the weld's not too bad. It's gonna do what it needs to do, and everything looks pretty symmetrical. So yeah, it's just gonna look a lot nicer on the gate. Okay, finished it. So I've welded that to the extension, the 120mm tube. I just figure that it's going to be, once I take the post out, unbolt the post and bring it in here, just be easier to weld it on with this on, rather than trying to hold this up on the post and weld it. So there we go, that's it with the cap on. So it all looks pretty good now. Change of plan, had to make a small adjustment. You can see the black felt tip marker lines there. I did weld above it, so I thought no problem, the gate will close, and when the gate started to go into this recess, it was starting to just lift the post a little bit, not much, only a mil or two. There was nothing in it, but I thought, nah, I don't want problems with binding. And so what I did is I drilled out the welds, and what I've done this time is I've put a bolt in there, and that's going to make it sit out a bit more. But what I will do is I will get a countersunk bolt like I used on the decking for the handrails, so that will sit almost flush, but this one will be adequate just for the mock-up. There is another hole in there that I could use as a secondary bolt, but I really don't see the need for it. This one here is using a nylock anyway, so that's not going to go anywhere. There's no weight on it. So yeah, unfortunately it happens sometimes. You know, I thought I checked it, I double checked it. I thought as long as I weld above the line, it'll be right. If I weld below the line, then yeah, I've got to understand it. But who knows, when I welded this this recess, this whatever you want to call it. You know, who knows? Maybe it's warped a little bit. Well, I don't know. But it's fixed now, so nothing to worry about. All good. Got half the welding bench put together at the moment. So just got the rest of it excuse me, to finish tomorrow. There's been 2 bars I've had to join in order to get a metre long piece. I didn't want to waste anything, so just welded them together. Got another 2 down here to weld together. There my sides. So yeah, it should work well. This flat piece of plate, I need to weld this underneath here, and that basically supports the front. I was thinking of putting some L-shaped brackets off the side here, but with the overhang, I want to be able to use that for clamping. I don't want brackets getting in the way, so the idea is that'll come out here, and when I'm finished with it, I can just fold it right over. If I can get this over, fold it right over, and it'll come down on top of itself, and then it just gets pushed against the wall there. Doesn't really take up any more room, and I can still put things on top of it like my drop saw and my little you know what it is. So yeah, I can still use it for storage, and yeah, it should work out alright. So I did make a mistake though. Stupid me put the hinges upside down. I don't know why, because I'd sort of trial fitted them during the week, and yeah, I don't know, I just had a brain fade and welded the actual pin down, which didn't allow it to close fully. So yeah, that was fun, grinding it all back and then trying to chisel it off, and then clean up the bars, and then put it back in the put the hinges back in the drill press, drill new holes out again so I could plug weld it when I flipped it over. So they still need a little bit of a clean up. I've got some dags here. It's getting late, so I've got to be mindful of the neighbours. They were just a couple of crappy old hinges that I had lying around, but they'll do nice. So the idea is that this bar will get bolted down or screwed down to the bench top. So that'll be just all along here. Put several fixing points in, and that will be what holds it down. But I can also put some in here as well, in along this flat bar. I'm actually thinking too that what I might be able to do is maybe cut this short. So rather than waste it all along here, because it's really not going to give me any support for the edges in the middle here. But if I was to cut that back here, say, and I'll put 3 screws in there, and then do the same on the other end. I think that should be enough to hold it, and then I'm left with all this. So when it comes time to work out what lock we're putting in the sliding gate, if I need any of this, I've still got some. So yeah, all good.